No, stop. IB for life. Hello, good morning. How are you? You're in the way, buddy. You're in the way. You can lay there, just that's good. Welcome in. I'm in West Virginia. Where are you? William, welcome in. Yeah, I'm getting better. You're in New York. Well, shout out to New York. I'm getting better. I have my moments. Sometimes I have the cough, sometimes I don't. You're welcome. I like that name. IB for life. How are you all right now? The most I've done is got up, throw clothes on, and put my necklace on. Grab me some drinks. Richard Rodriguez, welcome in. Thank you. How are you today? Welcome in. My cat was laying there, but I guess he was like, oh, nope, I don't want to be here. Literally ran around all day with Dad yesterday shopping, and then came home and cooked dinner. Guys, what do you want to talk about? Anything? Go to see my daughter yesterday too. She popped up on us. Her and her man. The pregnant daughter. Omar, welcome in. Yes, I've had a lot of healing. Are you gonna Are you gonna lay back down there? Do you know what you want? You're gonna lay back down there. You can't just. Okay, hold on. Hold on. You move stuff out of your way, Mr. Master. Yep, you roll. You got it. All right. He's spoiled. Good morning, Keith. Welcome in. Yes and yes. Saskus decided he wants to join us this morning, I guess. My little mouse hunter, aren't you? My little mouse hunter. Yeah. Western medicine brought any healing or just symptoms suppression? Oh no, I've been having a lot of stuff come up. Been purging out a lot of stuff, working through a lot of stuff. Yeah. I'm feeling better as the days go by. Kind of changed some things up though. I've been drinking V8 juice in the morning, and I made some of those aloe drinks, aloe vera drinks. Vibrationally, I feel better. He's been sleeping closer to me too than he's done in a while. I guess he likes it here. Yeah, Keith. Yeah, I know. That's my issue. That's my issue with them because they don't treat the problem; they treat the source. But that keeps lining their pockets. Omar, we all do. We all do. We all got more to learn. You know what I mean? I work with crystals, but I also work with vibration and the mind. God source, God source divine, which God's in here. We've never been separated. Yeah. Yeah, fix the loops. I believe this is our school. I believe that we come here to find our old broken soul pieces and put them back together. More specific in shamanic rituals than let that stuff for the true light. No, I mean that's good. Everybody finds their own way. Yep, everybody finds their own way. Mine's faith, no matter what. Faith. That's what keeps me going through everything. But it's also like healing of the mind, retraining the brain. But that's what works for me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, everybody's got their own way. I've just got, knowledge and wisdom, channeling. Chris, my nose itching again. Didn't do that till I got on here. I don't know what that means, but possibly truth being spoken. Speaking. Here we go. Little motor running. Got your motor running. Hmm. Got your motor running. He's so spoiled, aren't you? You spoiled. He's like right in front of my phone. Michael Stevens, good morning. Thank you for the comment. Bra. Hi, good morning. Michael Stevens. Karma don't work like that, honey. It doesn't work for what they do to us. It is they get karma for their actions. And um usually that is when you take your power back. Um I'm gonna call you up, Barack. Barack, we're just waking up right now. I don't have any plan right now. Just, I'm just waking up with you guys. Thank you. It's got like wiring and stuff around it to like form the tree of life. Yeah, things just keep happening until like they keep being taken down until they finally decide to look in themselves and see the patterns, see the loops. Yeah, but attractive doesn't work with God's source divine. Energy does. So it doesn't matter how attractive a person is. Naveen Vijay, welcome in. I love you guys too. I'm good. I'm doing better. Yes. Everyone reaps what they sow. Yep. Everyone. You're welcome. But Michael, don't sit around waiting for his karma because then you'll end up with it too. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit around and wish it on him and wait on it. You know, kind of be creative in your life and do things to work on your own loops, like you're over giving and your trust issues, abandonment issues. You know, work on your own. Don't sit around and wait for somebody to get karma because that karma will come back on you. Yeah, that's usually how it goes, Keith. They either make the changes or they fall apart. It takes a lot of strength to go within and work on self a lot. Yeah, guys, we can't sit around, wishing others to get karma or waiting on karma because that karma will come right back to us. We gotta focus on our life. The best karma is to let them see you shine. Get out there and shine. Get out there and do the damn thing. You know what I mean? Bring your fire and your passion for life and creativity back. Yes. And mental. Yes. These cycles have more of a mental impact on us than we know. Yeah, I do understand because I've been there. And I've also, one of my exes was always talking about wanting his ex to get karma, waiting for the karma, watching for the karma. Um, no, you don't do that. Which that right there should have told me right there. But that was, that he was one of my catalysts to my healing. That's the one where I looked in the mirror and didn't know who I was anymore. But had I known what I know now, I would have realized that, he wasn't over his ex and in no way, shape, or form ready for another relationship. This journey is more about us individually than it is other people. Like, what wounds is that person bringing up in you, Michael Stevens? Because our relationships reflect us, it mirrors us. So, what wounds is he bringing up in you? He's bringing up trust issues, bringing up abandonment issues, issues with authority. What is he bringing up in you? What are you being triggered by? Kata, hey, welcome in. Hello, how are you? There goes my voice again. But really, do they? Do they, Michael? Because they're, you know, they're working with darker energies. They're working with shadow. And when shadow doesn't collect you because you're standing strong, it's got to go back and collect something. Just because it's not something that's happened in your time, which again, I'm going to repeat, we don't ask for karma or want karma for somebody else. Because it brings it back to us. But shadow has to collect something. You make a deal with the devil's going to collect, whether it's going to be collecting the person that you made the deal about or it's collecting you. So, yeah, what's hidden what's hidden deeper. And this is, we just went through Scorpio season, so like what came up? What triggers came up? What things, what memories? What are you working with? He's a Scorpio. Well, see, that's a very deep person anyway. Scorpios are deep. Yes. But the dark energies work through our loved ones too. They work through the people that we love the most. You know what I mean? Like it uses them to take us down. But the ultimate the ultimate game is recovering from the traumas, rebuilding ourselves correctly, and like the old belief systems about ourselves going out the window. Like the belief systems of we're not good enough, it's not going to happen, they're always going to leave, they're always going to ghost, we're always going to find someone who treats us like crap. Those belief systems have to go out the window. Yeah, Michael, if there's an addiction, Mercury retrograde, um, they have to work through that. You know what I mean? You can't enable them. You can set tools and knowledge at their feet, but you can't make them change. That has to be something that they choose to want to do on their own. The most you can do for them, Michael, is ask for their healing. That's the most you can do for them. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I love from a distance. I still love them, but I love them from a distance because they're too toxic to be in my energy. Not being a drama queen. I mean, you don't know unless someone talks to you about it. You know what I mean? You have to allow yourself to feel the emotions that you feel. You don't ignore them. You know, there's a reason that you feel the way that you feel. You have to allow yourself to feel that. Don't push it away because then it just sets in the subconscious and keeps playing out in your life. You have to allow yourself to feel it, and then you have to allow yourself to let it go and push through it and say, this is not my truth anymore. I've changed. My belief systems about me have changed. This is no longer my truth. And then apply those lessons and start using them in your life moving forward. Right, kids, right. It's something that you feel. So, and anger and sadness and all of that's an emotion too. Because if you cover up pain and sadness, then it becomes anger. But even that needs to be purged. It needs to come out. And oftentimes speaking, even speaking to someone sometimes, will help you because you're getting it out. You're getting it out of your system. You're not holding it all in. But there's a deeper lining there, Michael. Yes, you're upset with him, and you brought up, the drug addiction, but there's something deeper under that. Why it's triggering you? Why is it triggering you? What's causing it to trigger you? Because what he's doing has added to it, but it's not the wound itself. Where did it come from? Like, where, when you were younger, did these things start triggering you? Where did you have someone in your life where you couldn't trust them, or you couldn't rely on them, or they hurt you in some way, shape, or form? Someone that you loved and trusted, or or it doesn't have to actually be you that went through it. You could have seen someone that you loved go through it, and it started a cycle in your mind, in your subconscious. AFTA, welcome in. I'm from West Virginia. Where are you from? Michael, I'll probably on here with you guys and then just, doing my own thing. I got some books at a like yard sale thing yesterday. I might read. I didn't bring any of my books with me. They're all in storage. I mean, my brother that passed away, his books are still here, but I don't know. I wanted some of my own. I got this book, guys. I ordered this book. Your 21-day guide to experience real health and workbook. It's called Living Good Daily. I ordered it. It's Dr. Living Good, founder of Living Good Daily. I wanted to check it out. I've seen some things on there. Um, Basically, he's a doctor that quit because he doesn't like the health system. And the fact of what you was talking about, Keith, like, um, they treat, they don't treat the source. They treat, the symptoms. Bosh, welcome in. Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed interesting to me because I do feel like that's what it is. Like they're making money off of our symptoms. They're not worried about treating the source because if they treat the source, then they don't have that income coming in. But I don't know. You know, I haven't read it. I just got it the other day. You feel very sad for me. Why? Gosh, why? Yeah, and see, Keith, I remember some things when I was younger, but I don't remember how old I was when they happened, but mostly because it came back out in dreams. It was things that I blocked that I didn't know that I blocked, but as far back as I can remember, actual age wise, 8 years old is as far back as I can remember. And that, I guess that significantly stuck with me because that's when I was told that the man that my mom was with wasn't my father, wasn't my real dad. Which I mean, I guess your young brains don't process things like an older brain would, but by knowing that she had been with different different guys, like the one that made me watch him beat her up in the yard in my nightgown when I was little. Um, that in itself should have told me that, you know, I had a different dad, because she was with him, and um then there was the one that she was with, and then she went and met another one at a park and brought him home, and then there was a big fight at the house, and then one's leaving and another one's moving in. I mean, I should have, but being young, I didn't process all that. But I do know that the one the one she met in the park looked a lot like the one that made me go outside in my nightgown and watch him beat my mama and break her jaw, and all of that stuff. So I was scared of that guy when she met that guy. He looked a lot like the other guy. Yeah, but that's where a lot of mine started. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of my trauma started. So that's where a lot of I had to go back and look at those things, and work on healing those things from there. And her patterns affected my life too. So, nervous system repatterning methods. Yeah, I know my nervous system took a hit. Taka, welcome in. Keith, I will. I'm working on figuring stuff out right now. Please don't knock my phone down. You can have that space, but don't knock my other phone down. Yes, I love you, sleepyhead. Mr. Sleepyhead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But it tells you where they're at mentally too. Yeah. Right, Keith. But it also tells me a lot about the mindset. It tells me, oh, that gives me a lot of data, like where they're at, where that person is at mindset wise, whether or not that person is the type of person that would want to settle down and commit, or that person was still out there sowing their oats. It's a lot of data. See, I analyze. It doesn't matter to me. They're projecting. As long as, I don't allow those projections to be placed upon me. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's at a different level. I happen to agree with him though. So, yes, you do. You do. But not everybody's on the same level. You know what I mean? And that's not saying that any one person is better than the other. I would never say that. No one's better than the other. We're all just at whatever vibration we're at. We're all learning. Oh, it's starting to get chilly in here. Right. But see, we're also all one. So that reflects something back to me, but not in the way that it used to, not in the way it did when I was younger. But I mean, I still got that kink side. So hold on, I'll be right back. Mommy was just turning the heat back on. You're good. Yeah. It's getting a little too chilly in here. Yeah. But that also tells you what they're after. You know what I mean? So you know that straight from the get go. And that would be okay for someone who, wanted the hit it and quit it type of type of relationship or thing, or yeah, and that's something that would have triggered the old me. Like deeply would have triggered the old me. And that would have been because of the sexual abuse. And that also was something that went through all of my relationships, you know what I mean? Like it was a problem in all of my relationships in the past. Like even my first marriage, like when we would sit down to watch a movie or whatever, and like I just felt like he was pawing all over me instead of doing something comforting, like sitting down and watching a movie together, enjoying that special time together. Like, I don't know, it used to trigger me. Yeah, yeah. And me and my husband would get in fights about it all the time, which I don't think that he meant it in the way that I took it, but mentally that's where I was at the time, and I couldn't get him to understand that. So, you know, it made things worse. And then it also didn't help that he had friends making comments about me, you know, so that pushed on his insecurities even more. And then, you know, the abuse and all the physical abuse and stuff started happening. And it happened not because, you know, not because I deserved something like that, but because mentally that's where he was at. He was insecure and it felt like that's what he needed to do to control me, to control the situation. We were both young. I was coming into a relationship insecure because of all the sexual things that had happened to me growing up and the rape and all of that. And then he was coming in insecure in who he was. So, you know, then there came the control issue, his friends talking sexually about me to him. And then it just escalated from there. Well, he was asking questions like, to give good head and stuff like that. And it triggered his insecurities. And I didn't know this because, you know, he didn't talk to me about these things. I tried to talk to him about mine, but he didn't talk to me about these things. And then a couple of years ago he called me and we were having a conversation, and you know, he wanted me back, which I wouldn't go back because of all the physical abuse. But that's when he told me about his friends doing that. And I didn't know, you know, he didn't tell me. I didn't know. So you can't correct the behavior in his head. You can't correct his thoughts. You can't work with it if they're not open and they're not communicating with you. You don't know what's going on. So he had all these things going on in his head, thinking that I was messing with his friend, which I was never into his friend. You know, I was a one man woman. I was with him. He was my husband. And, you know, even when people would flirt with me, like I would tell him so that he would know, not because I wanted to do something, but because I wanted him to know the truth, you know, but that it didn't, where his mind was, that it didn't help. Yeah. Yeah. But see, he was also Spanish, and um they're the ones that took him in. Like they are the ones that took him in and started teaching him English. And so and he worked with them. So like they were tight. They were friends. But that friendship caused issues in our relationship. And then us both being insecure with, you know, me going through what I went through and then him being insecure anyway, you know, it didn't help. It made things worse, and it tore our relationship apart. Mr. Warhammer, what do you mean, what is my duty? Welcome in, by the way. Your duty is to serve the Emperor's will. See, I'm an Aquarius. Duty, that's not a word that I use. I serve no one. I serve God, divine source, and days of serving guys are over. You're a Taurus, you're grounded to earth. I have Taurus moon. That's where my emotions lay, in Taurus sun. See, growing up with very narcissistic parents and a narcissistic environment, serve is not a good word to use around me, because I've been submissive my whole life. And yeah. And it wasn't like the serving thing as much as I do things because I love to do them for my other half. Where it becomes an issue is where they expect those things. Tauruses are stable as long as they have water. See, I'm an Aquarius, but I have Taurus moon, and then I have Cap um, rising in Venus. Helena, hi, welcome in. Good morning. See, I had parents where they say jump, you ask how high. So I fought against that. I fought against authority. And any man that came into my life that represented any kind of authority type figure, that was a not good situation. Yes, they say that we have all signs in us. The birth chart that I go through, I don't have Pisces. There's a couple of signs that I don't have in that birth chart, but then you got your Vedic and then you got your tropical. So I just read the regular one, whatever one that is. But yeah, I mean, go into your birth chart and find out, what planet is in what area and um, what house it's in, and look those things up. Like your sun, that's you know your personality. Your moon is like your emotions. Your rising is how other people see you. Your Venus is your love planet. Yeah, that's basically what I do. I rewire the brain. I'm rewiring my own. Like all the traumas and stuff that I've been through, I took that stuff on as my own. Things that people projected onto me, I took that on as my own. Realizing that it's not mine, it belongs to someone else. That's not my truth, that's theirs. I'm able to, rewire or retrain my brain. Yeah. And it's the traumas. It's the traumas. It's like the trust issues, the abandonment issues, issues with authority, because in my life authority never took care of me. They never protected me. An authority figure is supposed to be the one that you look up to, that you trust, that takes care of you, that protects you. But in my world, that wasn't the case. The authority figures in my world were the ones that were hurting me and abandoning me and mistreating me and misusing me. So that's where I work with, you know, those wounds. You're allowed to what, Helena? Oh, yes. Yes, you're allowed to say bless you. I want everyone to be blessed. I'm spiritual, but I still say bless you, you know. I want everyone to be happy, healthy, and at peace with themselves and others. Yeah. But in order to find peace outside of us, we first have to find peace within us. I just allow myself to exist. You know, I give myself permission to be who I am. Yeah, we just do it. Just do what feels natural to you. What feels what feels light, what feels easy. You know, not out here trying to be who everybody else wants us to be. It's loving with conditions, which isn't true loving. You're loving with conditions. It isn't true loving. Welcome in, Blue. You don't know them. Who is them, Helena? They're robbers. There's a lot of different ways people can rob somebody. Um, Not just of things, but of energy too. Ministry people. And I definitely don't think they're they're who it's put out there that they are. Justice must be served. I think the truth needs to be out there. I've dealt with robbers and robbers of not just not just finances, yes, my finances, but also my energy, my time, my worth. Yep. Not very trusting of all that. I have my opinions. I think they're all hypocrites, but that's my opinion. It's all about control. Right. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want everybody to stay in this little box that they've put them in. They don't want people to think for themselves. That's where my issue comes in. Yeah, that's where my issue comes in. They want you to follow like little lost puppies. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to live for yourself. I'm all about thinking for yourself, thinking outside the box, questioning everything. I don't care what it is, question it. Right, Keith. Right. And I observe behaviors. Right, Keith. What does what mean, Helena? What does what mean? Oh, it's a cold read. Keith, you take it from there. There's a lot of ways to tell what kind of person your person is. Like body language can tell you a lot about a person. Things that they do while you're talking to them can tell you a lot about a person. Words can tell you a lot about a person. Whether or not they take action on the words that they speak can tell you a lot about a person. There's a lot of different ways to read someone. Yes, you can speak. You're free to speak here. Don't feel like you need to hold back. In dream state, you are alive. You know, Helena, a long time ago, like, I was depressed during this time, though, too. But I would sleep a lot and I would dream. I would dream a lot. And I loved it. I loved being in the dream world. I used to say if I could get paid to dream, I'd have it made. Because I loved dreaming. Absolutely loved it. Quite scary. I didn't want to be in this world. I liked being in the dream world. Even when I was reading, when I was younger, like my childhood was so traumatic that I would fly through the things that I needed to do just so I could huddle in a corner and escape in a book and escape to a different reality. Not allowed to judge. No, judging's not our place, but we are allowed to analyze and figure out if a situation is good for us or not good for us. There's a difference. And the power of the mind is a lot stronger than people think it is. Like if you continuously think negative, you bring about negative in your life. You continuously think about positive, you bring positive in your life. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be obstacles or challenges, because there is, because that's how we grow, that's how we evolve. You worked hard to get here, yeah. Everybody sees me out here doing what I'm doing, and everybody sees, People talk to me, people open up to me. It's been that way since I was a kid. But what people don't see is the struggles that I've gone through and the pain that I've gone through and all the takedowns that I've had to pick myself back up from, and me having to be my own cheerleader because no one else has been there. They don't see that. You know what I'm saying? They see the outcome. Meditation and mantra. I do a lot of mantras. I do a lot of I repeat things 3 times to give it 3 times the power. Um I do blessings like when I make my tea in the morning, I do blessings into it and command the negative out. I do a lot of changing my mindset from negative to positive. I do a lot of different things. Eat great and exercise. I've changed that to don't really I don't really do a lot of vegetables and stuff here. So I went out and got V8 juice. I've been adding that in. So I have my vegetables and then I got aloe vera juice, you know, for the fruit, and it also calms my GERD, my acid reflux and stuff. So, and I've been, you know, kind of doing little exercises here and there while I'm doing things through the day. I've changed up a lot. And exercise is a good way to get it out too. Exercise is a good way to clear your mind. It's a good way to tap into your thoughts, what you're feeling for the day. It's a good way to purge things that you need to purge. Hey Zay, welcome in. How are you? How are you today? Good to see you on here. You have no fresh herbs? Yeah, see, we don't have them here either. We have spices and stuff, but you know, and it gets expensive to try to take care of your health, take care of yourself health wise, especially in the day and age that we live. Everything's so expensive. Thank you, Zay. Yes, I've been working with Zay for quite a few years. Actually, he's very smart too. Like he's helped me through a lot too. So can't give me all the credit, Zay. You guys are getting to meet some of my OGs here lately. The last couple of days, you've had some of my OGs on here. Some of the people that I work with outside of YouTube. You can read Tara, Helena. That's cool. Naturally. Yeah, it's natural for me too. I had a hard time reading the books. So I just, you know. You can ended. Yep. Zay, how long have we known each other now? What, 2019, 2020? 2019, I think it was. You're making your 11 organ system tune-up cards. That's pretty cool. You don't read for fun anymore, Helena. Why? Yeah, it's been quite a few years. I know that. I think it was 2019. Your phone's being buggy today. Blame it on Mercury retrograde. This is the time you can blame it on Mercury retrograde. JS, hi, welcome in. The kids get bored with old school cold reading sessions. I love reading tarot, Helena. I love doing it. I love channeling. That's where my passion is. These are just a tool, though. You know what I mean? It's just a tool. I'm a channeler, and you can ask Zay. Zay will tell you. I can sit with you and talk to you without these. I don't even need these. They add some things to it. Are you coming back to join us again? Yes. Okay. We'll lay down there. I don't need these. Like, he's one of the ones that, happened to come and sit down beside me when I was sitting by the fence, and I just happened to start talking about something, and it just happened to be what he needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? I don't need these. These are just, they're tools. Yes, Cat. Yes, he had to get in here. He wants to be in here with us. He had to get in here. He had to make his presence known. He's like, I'm still here, guys. Digital generation makes the old ways harder. Yes, it does. And AI is taking over tarot readings too. But the thing with AI is AI has no emotions. They have no intuition. They have what the meanings of the cards mean. You know what I'm saying? But they have no intuition. There's no channeling. There's no emotion. You love tarot? Yeah, I do too. It's really helped me. I did my healing through tarot, so it's really helped me. Yeah, AI doesn't connect to divine source. Right, Blue? JS, Rider Waite. Rider Waite is the deck that I started with. Rider Waite is pretty easy to learn. That would be my suggestion. Rider Waite was really easy for me, and Witch's Tarot. Witch's Tarot connected to me really, really easy. So one of those two. But Rider Waite is what I started out with. It's Rider, Rider, and then Waite is Waite. Yep. Yep, just like that. You use AI for graphics, nothing else. Yes. You're welcome, JS. Yeah, get out there. Get out there and learn and try it. You know? And you'd be amazed. You'll be amazed at what you can do with it. And I want everybody to succeed. So that's a great deck to learn with. And then grow from there. Like I've got tons and tons and tons of decks, but there's a few that I use a lot. What about the monsters? I don't know. I don't know. Raise our vibrations and trust ourselves and get out of that box and second guess everything and, you know, rise above them. Because they're going to be everywhere. But see, Helena, they feed off that fear. So don't allow it to scare you. They feed off that fear. I've found that on the other side of fear is peace. You're welcome. Putting you in fear, one, they feed off of you. Two, that allows them to control you. You know what I'm saying? So don't allow them to feed off the fear. Yep. Yep, grace. Grace, faith, trusting that no matter what happens, it's happening for a reason. You know, save space for God, source, divine to show you that reason later. And in the meantime, put your own reason to it so that you can get through it and face the fear. You know what I mean? Don't allow the fear to rule you. You rule the fear. Yes. It's like right now, I have no idea where my life's going. None. I'm in the unknown right now. And I like to know, what's going to happen next. But I'm in the unknown right now. But I have faith and I have trust that I'm being led in the right direction. And rather than fearing the unknown, I'm allowing myself to just go with the flow, to be shown. No, it's not easy. It's not easy, but you gotta have faith and trust that justice will be served. And we're going through a lot of changes right now. Like, we're in the age of Aquarius, so a lot of things are changing. Aquarius is the voice for the little people. We're the rebels. We're the out of the box thinkers. We're the ones that question everything. We don't just go with what's being told. Just because it's being told to us doesn't mean it's the truth. So we don't go for what's just what's being told. And we have to do with communication and technology and changing things that don't work. And a lot of things in the system don't work. A lot of things in the system need change. But change is scary too. It's your birthright to have what you like and what you want. That's your birthright. Alina, you were born with that birthright. There's plenty out there for everyone. You were born with the birthright to have what you want. Can you teach how to shuffle? Whatever feels right to you. I do the bridge. But I'm also like, just allow the cards to flow. And you can do the original, like split them. Fan them together. And do the bridge. I've taught a lot of kids to do the bridge. And they're like, I can't do it. I'm like, yes, you can. I don't believe in the word can't. And they get frustrated, but they finally would get it. You just put your thumbs up here if you're doing the bridge. Put your thumbs up here. Make sure you keep these fingers under and just allow it to flow. These slide more easy. So these are a little hard to teach it, but keep your thumbs like that. You got these fingers like this. And you just allow it to guide. If you want to do the bridge. But like I said, I've taught a lot of kids to do the bridge. You created something new. That's pretty cool. 16 years. I would make a good teacher. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, the thumbs hold it. And then you just kind of let it flow into your fingers. Kind of, don't hold it tight. Kind of just let it glide. Birds are awake. I don't even hear any here. Wind's blowing. 2:58 a.m. It's 8:59 a.m. here. New Zealand. Shout out to New Zealand. We have a new love offer coming. Something emotional. Could be a loving message or emotional message coming in too. You can also do the 3-card split. Like, these ain't gonna work too well with these, but split them, change them. There's no right way, no wrong way. However you want to do it, whatever feels right to you. Oh, I'm West Virginia, United States, West Virginia. It's 9 a.m. right now. Exactly. The date, I think it's the 16th. Yeah, the 16th. He's out cold. He's like, I'm safe, I'm warm, I'm out cold. Matt Turner, good morning. How are you? I'm doing paid readings and I forgot to pin it. I don't know if I can go up that far or I have to just do it again. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't judge. I don't judge anyone or anything. We're all on our own journeys. You can't afford it right now, but we'll pay. You win the lottery. I don't know. I'm not allowed to do lottery. You're okay, baby. It's just the wind. You're okay. Mommy's got you. You're all right. Yeah, you're all right. Matt, time is energy, though. You know what I mean? Oh, crap. It takes a lot of energy to do these readings. It's the 17th there. Have a nice day, man. If you want a free reading, I did readings on my channel. You go look up your zodiac sign and watch it. I do free readings, so it might help you. And furthermore, if you believe it's witchcraft, then why are you asking for a reading? Canada, is it a good place? I don't know. I visited when I was in the 5th grade. It was beautiful. I loved it. I have readers that I watch that are in Canada. They seem really nice. The Emperor. Wasn't that what that guy was talking about earlier? The Emperor? Doing the Emperor's will? Is it America? Canada? It is green there, eh? I don't know. Like when I went, like everybody was riding bicycles and it was I guess it depends on what part you're in. I was up around Niagara Falls. That was gorgeous. I wish we could have stayed and seen it at night, but it was even gorgeous during the day. But I like the falls. Stuck and trapped in a commitment, huh? Hmm. I loved it. But like things are expensive up there though. Or wherever there is. It's expensive because shit. Right now, a pack of Marlboros here would cost you $10. And you gotta figure, I'm going on 52 years old. This was 5th grade. When we were in Canada, a pack of Marlboros when 5th grade was $5 a pack. So They have those little machines that you put the money in and you pull the lever and the cigarettes come out. So I hate to see what they are today. Are you touching mama? I'm touching mama. Yeah, touching mama. My baby. Yeah, my baby. Wellington, New Zealand, East Coast. So what's it look like there, Helena? Yeah, he's wanting mom to comfort him, Zay. Yeah. Mommy comfort the baby. Yeah, yeah. I'm right here. The wind's making him jumpy. I guess that's why he's been sleeping closer to me too, because it's been really windy here lately. Blowing all that stuff around outside. Dad's got. It's just me. It's just me. Did I interrupt you? Yeah, I interrupted you. You're in the way. You're gonna lay down over there. All right. All right. There you go. Mom scared him. Shaking, shaking the drink. Tied in more ways than one. Yeah. I love you too. I'll talk to you later. You have a good day. You used to smoke, Helena? I've quit a couple of different times, but it's been a while. Yeah, I know. It does. It really does. And when you quit, like your senses come back so much that it really does. Like you can really tell when you quit. When you're doing it, you get, you know, you get used to it. You stopped. That's good. I'm glad. I wish I would have never started back up. Well, when I don't have them, I get really anxious. You want me to move out of your way? There. Now you can lay down. You can lay down. Yeah. Actually, you should be rich by now. I know. They're expensive. Now where are you going? Do you even know? You can go get you something to eat. You can go get you something to eat. No, he don't know what he wants today. You got sick. Yeah. Had a dream last night. Blue, that's probably because the people who have taken from you are realizing that, they have no choice. They have to pay you back. And it's going to come back to you in one way or another anyway. But the people who, are like stealing from people and stuff, they're reaping their karma. Landon Souls, hey, welcome in. And it's not going to stop until they do what's right. Where's my ring? It's laying here. I just haven't put it on. I just got up and I put clothes on and put my necklace on, and that's it. Divine timing. Yes, divine timing. But you're going to get it back through other things anyway. Because money is energy. It's going to come back to you in another way. Even if they don't pay you, it's going to come back to you in another way. And it's going to be taken out of their pocket in another way. What ring, Landon? I have like my bracelet, my earrings, all of that stuff laying here. I have that one. I've been wearing that one a lot lately. And it fits this finger. It's loose on this one. So what I did, where'd it go? Not that one. My crystal broke into a bunch of pieces. I took this piece right here of crystal, stuck it inside the ring, and then put it on this finger. It's not in our time, it's in God divine source's time. So things that we want to happen, they're happening, but they're just not happening in the time that we want them to happen. They're happening in the time that they're meant to happen. Hold on, Sassacus. Sassacus wants out. He's so spoiled. Let me let him out, guys. I'm not a, you're gonna jump. Jump. It ain't gonna hurt you. Lazy butt. Thank you. Oh. Yep, we gotta be patient. And I myself, I'm so tired of hearing that word, but we gotta be patient. And with the Mercury retrograde, yeah, it's requiring even more patience. Yep. Yep. And be graceful. Divine order. And it's all a part of the plan. Like it's all a part of a bigger plan. And we can't see that. Our ego, unhealthy ego, can't see that. We can't see the plan. But our intuition knows the plan. That's why we have to tap into our gut, tap into our intuition, have faith, trust ourselves, trust the plan. It is hard. It really is. As human beings, we want things like, I want it now, like a little kid, but it's not in your best interest right now. Say it's a love relationship, right? Let's just use love for instance. Say we want a lover, right? And we want it now. And it's our divine partner. But they haven't done the work that they need to do yet. So would you want them to come in with not doing the work? Like they're still going through those toxic energies and that toxicity, and they're still toxic? Or would you rather them come in when God source divine has worked with them and worked that toxic out? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather my partner come in and that toxicity be. um, I've been doing the fix it relationships. I'm over I'm over the fix it relationships. But I'm a fixer. So I've always been that way. You know, have someone else fix themselves. Right? No shortcuts. No shortcuts. I would rather my person come in knowing who they are, being confident in themselves and in what they want, and instead of being, insecure and having to work through that, because it's harder when you have to work through it in a relationship. So sometimes, God, divine source is working on them and teaching them and showing them their worth, and allowing them to get into their confidence and not be insecure. Because honestly, for me, it's going to take somebody who is very confident in themselves to be able to stand beside me, because an insecure man is not going to make it beside me. It's not going to work. I will not be able to build anything with an insecure man. For one, when they're insecure, they can't handle me doing this, you know, can't handle me out here talking to other people, laughing and cutting up and joking with other people. And, because I'm a people person, and that will threaten an insecure man. Even though I'm doing nothing wrong, that will still threaten an insecure man. An insecure man is going to need all of your attention. And there's a difference in, you know, wanting attention, spending time with people, giving people attention, and someone being codependent on your attention. Like, if they don't have your attention, they feel less than. They don't have your attention, they're threatened. They're threatened by the people around you. They're threatened by your family. They're threatened by your kids. They're threatened by anything or anyone that gives you attention, because they don't realize that no matter what, you're theirs and you're with them, and you love people, you want to be around people, you like helping people and setting knowledge and wisdom. But you know an insecure man needs to be the center of your attention, like at all times. And I can't I can't. I've been there, I've done that. And yes, ew. Yes. And I'm not saying anything bad about them. It's just not my type. I want someone I can build with. Someone that's not insecure, someone that's confident, someone who knows who they are, know what they want. They're not in and out. They don't do the stupid ghosting and gaslighting and manipulative little tactics to get their way. You can't build with somebody like that, because if they're in and out in your life, then if you're trying to build an empire with them, they're going to be in and out in that, and you're going to be the one taking on all the responsibility. And who wants a relationship like that? I mean, for me, now some people do like that. Some people do want that, but I'm an independent woman. I'm independent. I'm strong. I'm self-built. I'm self-reliable. So I want someone who also is independent and strong and self-reliable, and I can build with. Someone. And they don't allow other people to come in and shake things up. They don't allow other people to come in with their lives and their insecurities and their misery and cause insecurities and misery within in the relationship. Like, third parties are always interfering. Other people always think they know what's best for you, what's best for your relationship. You don't want it. Yeah. Yeah, if it leaves a nasty taste in your mouth, you definitely don't want it. You can feel the energy. You know what I mean? And everybody in this world is capable of feeling energy. Everyone in this world is capable of tuning into and tapping into their intuition. What feels right, what feels off. But then you know, you got the people who you're mine and no one else is going to have you. Nobody else is going to get you. No, I'm not going to allow anything else to work in your life because you're mine and I can do what I want, but you need to be this way. You need to act this way. Mm-mm. No, that leaves a nasty taste in my mouth. And honestly, a person wouldn't want to manipulate and control you if they were confident within themselves. Yeah. If they weren't insecure and they were confident within themselves, they would have no reason to feel control you. People's actions tell me a lot about who they are. Dad must be up. I hear Bubby. Whew, that sounds bright. Even through that plastic. But the sun's coming out, guys. Things are going to get better. under a wind advisory. I'm just focused on me and what I want to do with my life. Squirts whining. Sounds like Dig Dig is on the lamp again. And they're going outside. Clear out energy, bring in new energy. Sun. Okay, so this is what my cigarette guys, and then we're gonna see what spirit wants to tell us today. What's the waking up with Tigress message today? Sasuke's come in here and messed everything up, moved everything around. But he wanted to be seen. And he wanted some mommy time. All right. All right. What do you want to tell the quiz this morning? We're waking up with Tigress messages this morning. My internet's freezing up some. Waking up with Tigress messages. What do you want to tell the collective? Okay. Okay. Death and judgment side by side. Okay. Okay. Give me one more. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, and Hangman right now. We're going within, trying to see things from a different perspective, waiting on that light bulb moment, waiting on the call, waiting on time to move, you know, time to take action, getting enlightenment. We also put ourselves in the hangman. So, we usually don't purposely, on purpose, put ourselves in hangman. Usually something comes in, causes us to put ourselves in hangman, trying to see things from a different light, trying to go within, review, recalculate, looking back at situations so that we can see our way forward, because we kind of feel stuck. Something came in and shook everything up and made us feel like we were stuck. So we're trying to figure out how to get unstuck, how to get out of this. And once we get that epiphany or that light bulb moment, we're going to cut ourselves down out of this and we're going to move forward. So I would say what put us in hangman is something happened. Something happened that caused a death to the old ways. Something ended. Um, a tower moment came in, or something came in and shook things up, caused an ending to something. Now, whether that's an ending in our life, our relationships, our job, our belief system, the way we believe about things, the way we perceive things, you know, to each their own. You all will know how this affected your life. It's usually not an actual death, but if someone's lost somebody, my condolences. Um, I know it's hard. It's kind of hard to get through. But all in all, this is about a transformation. This is about the old ways dying, the new ways coming in, rising from the ashes, being taken down. Um, Everything that you thought was true, you find out isn't true, and it's shocking. It comes in and it changes things. So you're reborn again, like the phoenix out of the ashes. But the sun is coming up in this card. You are going to rise again, and things are going to change. They are going to become abundant. Like I said, the sun's coming in. This is the sun coming up. So everything happens for a reason in a reading. Then we have judgment. And this basically is, being called back to life. Like, these people are in caskets, and Archangel Raphael is calling them back to life, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And also, calling you to your destiny, calling you to your path, calling you to a different way. The way that you were doing things, or the way that things were going, isn't the way that they were meant to continue to go. So you're being course corrected. Your path is being changed. You're going, you're following your destiny. Are you going to answer the call is the question, though. You're being called to something out of your comfort zone, standing in your power, speaking your truth, too, this could also be justice in the legal system, judgment, being called on something legal, or some kind of justice coming in for you. But it's, the justice card isn't out here, but I am feeling justice on this. Some kind of justice coming in, some kind of judgment being called on that. So, I see healing in this card too. With the, you know, that pulling in a healing. That symbol is pulling in healing for me. So healing over some kind of situation. I'm not a doctor and I can't give health information, but I do feel like maybe if you haven't been feeling well or whatever, you're going to be feeling better. And I usually don't get that off of any of my cards, but I am getting that off here. I'm also hearing the ancestors are tired. The ancestors are tired of watching you go through what you've been going through. They're tired of watching people take advantage of you and misuse you, abuse you, bury you, with 10 swords in your back, burying you. And so they're calling you to your mission. They're calling you to your destiny. They're calling you to speak out. They're calling you to stop taking this, stop taking the abuse, stop taking the neglect and the manipulation. They're calling you to speak out, to speak your truth. I also heard what's hidden in the dark will come to light. So, when you're buried in the ground, that's dark. When you rise again, that's coming to the light. And again, what's hidden in the dark is coming to the light. The light is coming up. The light is coming out with the sun. So anything hidden, anything's been hidden is going to be illuminated. But you're going to take part in this too by speaking your truth, by speaking out. You have an Ace of Pentacles and an Ace of Swords. So 2 new beginnings here. 2 brand new beginnings. One is grounded, that's, an idea, a thought, an inspiration that needs to be planted. God, source divine is giving you that epiphany moment that you've been searching for, that idea, that inspiration, that other way of thinking. They're bringing it into you. It's also, an offer possibly coming into you. Divine source is having an offer come into you. Now you've got to be discerning. If there is an offer coming in, you've got to be discerning. Do actions match the words? Are you feeling what they're saying? Tapping into your emotions. This is also staying grounded. This is also whatever you touch turns to gold. It has the potential to grow, but only if you plant that seed, only if you take that chance, only if you make that offer or accept that offer that's being given to you. And then you have the sword. So there again, there's clarity coming out. So whatever's hidden in the dark will come to the light. You will get clarity over it. Things will become clear. This could also be an apology coming in, somebody bringing an apology in, an offering. There's a new beginning, This is also the sword that cuts. So there could be a truth that comes in that causes you to use this sword to cut out something that no longer serves you, something that's toxic, something that isn't working. But still, even if you cut something out, that's a brand new beginning. That's a chance opening up. That's making space for something new to come in to replace it. This is also a bright idea. This is thoughts. So a new, brand new idea that might be coming in. Why is this? Because you're the wounded warrior. You've been through a lot. You've had a lot of battles. You're healing, and there's healing. Yeah, and I didn't even see that. So that's why I was pulling that in on that, because the wounded warrior is healing. They're sitting back. They're licking their wounds. They're cleaning their injuries, and allowing things to heal, allowing themselves to rest and recover before going back out to battle again. And these are representations of battles that you've won. You haven't won all of them, but if you know they add up, and you might not win all the battles, but they're saying you have the potential to win the war. um at the top, that's the olive branch. And heck was that called? um oh my goodness, cannot remember what that one's called. You asked me too soon. I had it in mind when I was looking at it. But you've also got the crown up there. You know, crowning your reading, putting your crown back on. The crown chakra. Oh, I forget. I forget what the other one's called. You have to look it up. I can't remember. I did when I was reading it, but it went out of my mind that quick. But anyway, God Divine Source puts their warriors on the front line because they have faith and trust in you as well as you do them. They know you're going to make it through this battle. They don't think you're going to make it through it. They know. God's Source Divine knows you're going to make it through it. And they're telling you, this has left you guarded. This has left you wounded. This has left you hurt and in pain. And, they're saying, yes, take the time you need to heal, but then to go out on this brand new journey. You have a brand new journey, getting out of your comfort zone. You don't have to sit and guard yourself. You don't have to put the wall up anymore. You can stand in your power and speak your truth, and know your truth. Don't allow someone else to tell you what your truth is. You can put the wall down. This is the wall that you built in between you and other people and other things, because you've been hurt so many times that you felt like you had to put a wall up. But you don't have to put a wall up. You can take the wall down. You can stop guarding the wall. Stop guarding yourself, because you already know all the red flags. You've already been there. You've done that. You've got the t-shirt, the award, the trophy. So when things come up that don't feel right to you, you're already going to know. You've been there so many times. So they're saying, address the situation, address it, talk about it, have a conversation about it. And if the other person isn't willing to, open up and compromise, or maybe see where you're coming from and try to understand you, and you open up and try to understand them, and you both see where each other's coming from, and maybe come to some sort of compromise. If there isn't some kind of change in the behavior, or they don't seem to care about how you feel, and they still continue to disrespect you, then to leave. Not to get yourself involved in that contract, in that situation. So to free yourself. And this is freeing yourself, putting that wall down, putting that guard down, going on that brand new journey. Now, whether this be a journey with a past one, a past loved one from your past, coming back together and reconciling, it doesn't matter. Either way, the wall has to come down. The behavior has to change. You can't come back into it doing the same thing you were doing when you separated. You can't come back into it having the same energy and pulling the past in with you. There has to be a change. There has to be a forgiveness and a letting go. And then you have the Eight of Wands. This is the arrows of love. This is Cupid's arrow coming to hit you again, coming to strike again, even though you didn't want it. You said you didn't want it, God Divine Source has a very big sense of humor. Once you get into a place where you don't want it anymore, you're good on your own, you know, you're not looking for it, it comes in. This is also fast and rapid communication coming in, fast paced conversation back and forth, you know. Could be coming in from a distance because it's up above this house, shooting above the house. This is also taking action, passionate, you know, shooting that arrow where you want to go and going there, moving forth. This could also be travel, you know, could be traveling somewhere. Somebody could be traveling to you from a distance. You could be traveling to someone for a distance, from a distance. Um, Changing locations even. So there is going to be communication coming in, and there is going to have to be a death to the old. Oh, what was that thing? Now you got me. I can't think. Um, Whatever. Um, yeah, it's saying laurel or fern. Signifies the fertility of the mind, while the sword offers intelligence. I told you I channel more than I read. Upright, new beginnings, clear thoughts, new challenges. The fern and a sprig of mistletoe with berries. And the reason these particular plants are used is because both of these little greens can attach themselves to trees. So in this case, the sword is the tree, which is the symbol of everlasting strength. The mountains are symbols of goals and spiritual truths, even though we don't see any symbols of growth on the mountains. These plants signify fertility of mind, while the sword offers intelligence. Because the sword is being held upright, it is being passed on with the right hand. It also represents success and giving. There was something else that it was called. I heard somebody else call it something else, but I can't remember what it was. Loyal tree is planted outside most courthouses. Judges and lawyers say stand on their laurels, crown what's hard to make out because of shine on the card. Yeah. Yeah, because I've got the sun coming in. Like, if it didn't have that plastic up, it'd be even brighter. Okay, I think it's time for some tea. Yeah, resting on some laurels. And honestly, that's what my name means. Laura means laurel. It even said something about some of the golden leaves falling from it. But yeah, I do more channeling than I do anything. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that laurel trees were planted outside the courthouses. But guys, that's your reading. So there is going to be death to old, and there is going to be new beginnings and new things. Whatever's hidden in the dark, whatever you can't see through right now, you're going to get clarity over. It's going to become clear, and there is going to be messages coming in, maybe unexpectedly, but there are going to be messages coming in, messaging back and forth. Could be love coming in too. Um, Messages of love, messages of concern, messages that are going to give you clarity over something. Which, I mean, we're what? The second week, working, moving into the third week of November. So the end of November, Mercury is going to go direct anyway. So things are going to start picking up anyway. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, Mercury retrograde is very changing, very growing, very much evolving, letting go of old things, changing old patterns, behavior patterns, thought patterns, um, reviewing and reevaluating before moving forward. So things are, like right on track with Mercury retrograde. Things are going to start picking up. We're through a lot of it. Oh no. This reading appears as the storm hits. Mm. I just had a notification um for Libra. Says the whole bloodline is going to hell. I don't know. Mercury retrograde is like a slingshot being pulled and getting ready to release harnessed energy. Yes, exactly. That's exactly how it feels, Blue. Exactly. Getting ready to be slingshotted forward. And that's this too. Getting ready to be slingshot forward. You know, pulling back the bow and getting ready to release Sagittarius energy. Yep, that's a perfect example. It's a good time to be, to jump timelines too. If you've done the work and, released what you've needed to release and, you know, um, change your thought pattern about yourself, realized your worth where you didn't realize it before, and you move forward in a different way, in a different energy, you will slingshot past the timeline that you're on onto another timeline. I'm ready. I'm ready for change. I'm ready for the shift. No matter what is taken out of my life, it's taking it out for a reason. Even though sometimes that can be painful, still it's taking it out for a reason. And I've released and let go of a lot of things, people and things and emotions and patterns through this Mercury retrograde. I've been guided to release, to let go, to close chapters. Although, like, I know certain people aren't wanting to close chapters. I know certain people are still holding on to me. They're still holding on to my energy. On my side, I've decided to release it. So that no longer concerns me. It's, they've got to work through their stuff because it no longer has anything to do with me. It's none of my business. Now I'm like future focused on me and what I need to do for me, what's the best for me, growing and building, my empire and, getting out there to the world, speaking to the world, getting out there and laying tools and knowledge at other people's feet so they may be able to pick that up and use it in their own lives if they so choose to. I got distracted for a little while. Something came in and distracted me and got me off course, off focus. And I'm getting myself back focused again, back on course. Yes, yes, Blue. And we played an important role in that situation as well, even if we don't know it and we don't see it. And we did end up coming out in some sort of pain and having to heal through some sort of pain. We were in the right place at the right time. We were doing exactly what we were supposed to be doing, and we may not know why, but there's a higher reason, and we need to give in to that, to know that there was a higher reason. It was meant for a purpose. We were being used for a purpose, and I don't mean like used as in used and abused. We were being used as a tool in a different situation. It's like the girl that came on here yesterday. I watched something and something told me to send it to her, and I did. And then she came back at me with, what made you send this to me? Like, this is exactly what I needed right now. But that's how God's source divine works. You tap in, you listen to your intuition. If something tells you to send something to someone, do it, because you're being used as a tool in their life. And I still shock those girls today, even though, they've worked with me, and they know I'm gifted, they know I'm talented, they know, that I've helped them help themselves through a lot. I still shock them, when I happen to show up just when they need it, or I happen to say something they just happen to need to hear, or I send them something or something. I trust me. I trust the messages too. I trust the intuitive hits. So, but the devil energy and the devil, they don't it don't want you out there speaking. It don't want you being there for people, like, like I was for her. It don't want you sending those messages to people who need them. So it will keep you in self-doubt, and it will keep you in, not knowing yourself and second guessing yourself, and that way you miss that energy, and then they miss those messages, and they need that guidance. That guidance help helped her move forward in her life. Now, say if I was still stuck in all the pain, and I was allowing all the pain to rule me, and I wasn't out here doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I was allowing God to not get through, and allowing, the shadow side, Satan, the devil, to control me, then I wouldn't have been there when she needed someone there. It's like my daughter too. We use my daughter and the house that she got for an example. While she was sitting in the energies of, I'm miserable here, I don't want to be here anymore. I want something different. I want to change. We're still setting in the energies of negativity, and she knows, because we have these talks. Um, that, like, she's a victim and she's not getting what she wants, and stuff like that. Then it is calling in more of that energy, more of that vibration. But once she changed her vibration and to a place where she knew she deserved to have what it is that she wanted, and she was walking in her faith, like, she got baptized, and she's walking in her faith, and she's more positive than the things that she was wanting, seeking, that already were hers. She was already a match to it. She just had to bring her vibration to it, raise her vibration to meet the energy. Then what she wanted and what was already hers had a chance to come in. And we talk about this a lot. Like, she had a car one time, for instance, and that poor kid. She got this car, and she didn't pay a hell of a lot for it, but enough. And she kept setting in the energy of, this needs fixed, and there's always something breaking down on this vehicle, and I'm always having this issue, and I'm always having that issue. And the more that she was doing that, the more things were going wrong with the car. And I kept trying to get her out of that energy, and she was just stuck in the woe is me, and um I worked with her as much as I could. But once she finally came out of that energy, like, she stopped having problems with the car. Like, she is an instant manifester. And, I've tried to get her to understand that. She's got to be very careful with what she thinks, because what she thinks, she brings about. And she's an instant manifester. So she's in the negative, then, and she gets more negative to come smack her in the face. If she's in the positive, and she gets more positive that comes in, and helps lift her up. But you have to be a vibrational match to what it is that you want. It's already yours. You've just got to match the energy. The more we feel stuck, the more we are stuck. The more we feel enlightened, the more we feel like there's a way through, the more we look at and observe and come up with solutions and, plan, plot, and strategize, the more we call in what it is that we want. But I think it's been 3 years that she's been in the place that she was in, and now finally she's able to move forward. And like I told her, that just makes her more grateful for what she has now. More reasons to be grateful for what it is she has now, because she did spend so many years feeling stuck and trapped, and looking at four walls, the same four walls. So now that she's got more open space, like, even though it's small, it's not a whole lot, it's a lot more than what she had. So she has a lot more to feel grateful for. And look at me. I mean, look at me. This isn't much. Yes, I've had a lot to battle here. I mean, I've had to battle the mice, I've had to battle mold and all of that stuff here. But it's a step up from where I was. I was in my car. I had nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm grateful. And it's also, my roots. It's like family. It's like where I came from. It's like, I love the smell of wood burning. We have the wood stove, and I grew up with wood stoves, even when I was little, even when we weren't here. I grew up with wood stoves. So that brings back the familiar, that brings back the roots, that brings back the comfort. Even though during those times I was also going through very traumatic things, the smell of wood burning brings back peace to me. It's a remembrance of my roots, of where I came from. So I've been embracing everything, like carrying the wood in, even instead of looking at it like a job or something miserable. I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying throwing the wood for my stepdad. I've been enjoying going out every evening and getting wood and stacking up the wood box, and even doing dishes, which I absolutely hate. Been doing them since I was 6, but I've also been enjoying those things. And back to making dinner for somebody else. It's just been me for so long, and So I've even been enjoying those little things, like just the little things. I've been grateful for just the little things. And then adding new things like, the vegetables, the V8 juice, adding that to my diet, the fruit, the aloe vera drinks, adding that back in. I used to do that when I was up there, but then when I got in my car, things got complicated. Um, and then adding a little bit of exercise, which is something that I wasn't doing, haven't been doing. And it's not anything big, it's just small things while I'm working, changing up my routine, getting out of my comfort zone, doing something different. And it actually comes back and it feels good to me. So, and allowing myself to let go of all of that destruction and manipulation and abuse and in all ways, you know what I'm saying? Allowing myself to transform and giving myself permission to live my life and be out here and just be me. Just exist. Just be me. No pressure. Just be me. And I don't know, maybe that was the whole thing. Maybe I was supposed to come back to my roots. Because even on the way here, like I stopped back by where my ex-boyfriend, one of my exes, live now. The one who started me into this. He was the catalyst, the beginning catalyst for my healing before I met all those guys in jail. Um, Returning back to there, not to return back to him, but he lives now where we grew up, where I was growing up with all these traumas and all of this, where all of this stuff first started happening. Like when we moved from Baltimore when I was a little kid, that's where we moved to. And a lot of the abuse and neglect and all of that took place at that place. And though I had already told myself like I'm done with him, like I'm not getting back with him, like he's never gonna change. I've watched him. He's still doing the same thing 8 years later that he was doing when I was with him. He's still, got a girl waiting at home and out hanging out with girls out in his car saying they're friends, doing things that friends don't do. So even though I had no proof, then I had the energy. I felt the energy. I felt something was off, but I kept second guessing myself because I was in a bad state of mind at that time. I didn't even know who I was when I was looking into the mirror at that time. So on the way here, even though I'd already told myself I was done with him, I found myself calling him, meeting up with him, going back to the property. And no, we didn't do anything. It wasn't like that. We didn't get together. We didn't hook up. We didn't do any of that. We just kind of enjoyed time around each other, talking to each other, spending time around each other, and, you know, um, mostly talking to me about the girl that he wanted to be with that wasn't with him. But anyway, I went back to my roots. So while he was at work, I was there talking to my younger self, having conversations with my younger self about, you're stronger than you think you are. You're going to make it through this. A lot of your journey is going to be solo. You're not going to have anybody with you through this journey, but you are a lot stronger than you think you are. You're a lot more confident than you think you are. You're loved. You're surrounded by love. The things that little kid needed to know that didn't know at that time. I sat and had those talks with my younger self while I was there. And I enjoyed the familiarity, familiarity, you know what I'm trying to say, of, the familiar smells and, the willow tree that we got married under when we were little, and all of the good memories that came back. I enjoyed those. I enjoyed that before coming back here. So sometimes you got to return to your roots to figure it out, to put two and two together, to put your body back into a state of familiarity. And those familiar things did it released the stress. It, like, my nervous system changed with that. Even though there were traumas there was also a lot of comfort in those smells and in that environment. And yeah, I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. I've enjoyed spending the morning with you guys. I love you guys. I absolutely love sitting and conversating with you guys. Like, it's amazing. I enjoy it. And just be easy on yourselves, you know. Be kind to yourselves, be generous with yourselves, be patient with yourselves, and stay safe out there. All right? I love you all. Later.